Hi guys, how's it going? It is me, Megan, and I am back with another video. If you guys are new to my channel, I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and a few other platforms, but mostly Poshmark. And here on YouTube, I like to make reseller content. I'll do sold videos like this, I'll do unboxings, I'll do hauls, I'll do all that good stuff. So if that is something you guys are interested in, please make sure to like and subscribe, and that way I'll never miss one of my videos. So in today's What Sold Sunday video, I'm actually going to be going over the last 2 weeks of February. I think last Sunday I left off on Saturday the 11th. And so today I'll be going over sales from February 12th through yesterday, which was the 25th. They weren't the best weeks. I definitely had some good sales that I'm excited to share with you guys. And yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it because I don't want this to be too long of a video. Again, not too many sales, but it is a lot of days. So I think I'm just gonna jump on in. On February 12th, which was a Sunday, I only had 2 sales. I sold this Vox Populi tank top. That's the brand name. I don't really think it's anything. I believe I got this at the bins, a year, maybe 2 years ago. I've had it for a long time. I think I really just liked the pattern on it, and I definitely think it was in like my short list of things to get rid of once I finally make it to that step in the process of going through my inventory. Because it just wasn't getting a lot of attention and it wasn't like a high value piece, but someone did end up buying it. They bought it for $9, and after fees I made $4.33, so better than nothing. And then the other sale I had was on Mercari. It was this torrid brown midi length skirt. I'd actually had this for a while as well. I got this at the bins, and I think I probably just didn't have the best photos of it. I am somebody who, when I know I have a good model photo, I find it really hard to take like very good pictures of my items. So if it's like wrinkly or if the lighting isn't perfect, I still, will list it as long as I have the model photo. So I think because I didn't steam this particular piece, it did take a little bit longer to sell, but it was always getting a ton of attention. It finally sold on Mercari for $24, and after fees I made $20.40. And I do really love to find Torrid at the bins. Their jeans haven't been doing the best for me recently, but it always tends to sell well, at least in that $20 range for me. Obviously depending on the item, but their dresses, their shorts, their jeans, but again, not so much recently, skirts, all that good stuff, especially like the bigger the sizes, the better. And then on Monday the 13th, I had 2 sales again. I sold this Moth by Anthropologie cutout sweater. I got this at the bins as well. And I don't remember when. I want to say back when I was living in Portland, so probably sometime last year. It kind of was like a cold shoulder sweater, but not quite. So I did think it was still pretty cute and trendy and modern, but I do think because it kind of looked like a cold shoulder sweater, it didn't get as much of attention. The cutouts were more like here and not here. But yeah, it ended up selling. It did take a little while. It sold for $20, and after fees I made $16. And then the other piece I sold was this Phoebe Bridgers graphic t-shirt. I still haven't posted this bins video yet, but I think I will this week. But I got this recently at the bins. I don't know Phoebe Bridgers that well. I'm pretty sure she's a singer, but I know she's very popular. So when I saw this at the bins and it was a really cute graphic tee, I decided to pick it up. It ended up selling for $21 on Mercari, and after fees I made $17.79. Then Tuesday the 14th, Valentine's Day, I had 4 sales. I sold this Carhartt men's short sleeve tee, again a recent bins pickup. If I see this style of t-shirt at the bins and it's in good condition, I will pick it up 100% of the time. It usually sells fast, not always for like very much, but it always sells pretty quickly, and again, usually the bigger the sizes the better. It ended up selling for $14, and after fees I made $9.33. Then I sold this women's Levi's denim jacket. This was actually from my mother-in-law. She gave it to me. I held on to it for a while, but I just knew I was never gonna wear it. It was like a stretchy denim, and I have a lot of jean jackets. This one just wasn't my favorite, so I did decide to list it. It ended up selling for $36, and after fees I made $28.80. Then I sold these Paige men's Lennox jeans, and if these look familiar, they might. I actually sold these before, and they got like returned to sender, which has happened to me I think once before. Like the person didn't open a case against me. ended up coming back to me, which is always so funny to me when then the buyer doesn't say anything. Like, you know you're never gonna get your item because like the tracking says it came back to me, and then you don't tell Poshmark. I don't know. So I told Poshmark, they refunded the person, and then I relisted the jeans, and I think they actually sold for more the second time around and very quickly. I did get these at the bins. Originally, I think I thought these were women's jeans. And even though Paige women's jeans don't do the best, if I see them at the bins, I might take that risk in picking them up. But these actually end up selling for $45, and after fees, I made $36. I do think they sold for a good price because they were men's jeans. And then the last thing I sold on Tuesday the 14th was this Urban Outfitters button-up retro shirt. I actually also got this at the Beans. I really can't speak today. I got this at the bins recently, and I just thought it was a really cool retro button-up shirt. It'll be great for someone for the summer. This actually sold on Depop, and again, it was a pretty quick flip. I knew I was not going to get a lot for it. I was kind of debating whether to list it as a men's or a women's. It was definitely more of a men's size medium. It could have been one of those like really oversized women's pieces, but I listed it as a men's, and it sold on $12 on Depop, and after fees I made $9.78. Then Wednesday the 15th, I only had one sale. It was this cashmere hooded sweater from the brand Inhabitat. Hopefully it says it on the screen. I meant to double check the name of it, but I forgot. I found two of these sweaters by this brand at a Savers. I was gonna say at the bins, but no. At a Savers semi-recently, definitely like a few months ago now. Probably back before like the actual winter, maybe in the fall. But because they're like a cashmere blend, comp seemed pretty good on this brand. I just don't know how popular it is, so I decided to pick them up and try them out. This one only ended up selling for $30, and after fees I made $24. This one was definitely the one I didn't think was going to sell as well compared to the other one, but the other one still hasn't even sold yet. But I do think the other one's a little bit cuter. It's not hooded, it's just like a normal knit sweater. But yeah, I'd love to know if you guys have sold that brand before, if you've heard of it, because that was my first experience selling it. Then Thursday, February 16th, I had 3 sales. I sold this American Eagle San Diego Padres short sleeve shirt. This was my husband's. I had bought it for him, so I knew it was from American Eagle, and I just thought it was a really cute t-shirt. It's too small for him now. He likes his shirts like really long, so even when they shrink just a little bit from wash, he doesn't like to wear them. So I decided to resell it because I liked the design. It ended up selling for $13, and then after fees, I made $8.33. Then I had a great sale. I sold this Rani Arabella cashmere cardigan, another cashmere piece. This was a beautiful sweater, and I also got this recently at the bins. I didn't know what to expect. I had never heard of this brand. Comps looked pretty good when I looked it up on Poshmark before I picked it up at the bins, but I didn't really know what to expect. I had never heard of the brand. I didn't know how popular the brand is, even if, you know, it's high quality and expensive and people are listing it for a lot. So originally I had listed it at $90, and then someone offered me $70, and I was like, yep, take it, please. It was a quick flip and a great price. And again, I got it at the bin, so I spent like $1 on it. So it ended up selling for $70 on Poshmark, and after fees, I made $56. Then I sold these Torrid mid-rise shorts, which again were from the bins, a recent bins trip, and I kind of was on the fence about these, but they were a newer style. Torrid has the dates on them, so I did decide to pick them up. We are getting into like the shorts and spring season, and again, they were in a good size. I am surprised they sold so quickly, but I'm definitely happy about that. They sold for $20, and after fees, I made $13.32. Then Friday, February 17th, I had 3 sales. I sold this Lululemon black sports bra. This was from my sister-in-law. I've mentioned it a few times. You probably know if you've been watching my What Sold Sunday videos, but back in December around Christmas, she gave me a bunch of donations, things she was just getting rid of. So I looked through that and picked out some stuff to sell. This was one of them. It sold for $20, and after fees I made $16. Then I sold these Love Moschino jeans. I found these at a local Goodwill 3 or 4 months ago. I was really excited to find them. I've never found Moschino or Love by Moschino, I'm not even sure how you pronounce it. So I was really excited. I thought they would do really well, but comms really actually weren't that good. And of course I didn't check before I purchased them because I was so excited to find the brand and just assumed it would do well. These sat for a long time and I'm honestly surprised that they sold at all, but I'm very glad that they did and I didn't lose money on them. They ended up selling for $35 and after fees I made $28 and I spent probably like $10 on them. Then I sold this kite baby sleep bag. I found this at the bins recently as well. And I never heard of the brand, but I saw it at the bins and it just kind of felt high quality. And I'm like, let me just look it up. And it seems like most of them were listed around $30 and they actually originally are like $50. So I thought like I might as well try. If I could sell it for $30, that's great. I listed it and then like within the first like minute of me listing it, someone offered me $20, so I did decide to accept. And after fees, I made $16. And then ever since I sold that, I've been getting so many ads for this brand, especially on TikTok. I think my algorithm just kind of thinks that, you know, I'm looking to buy something from them because I looked up on their website to get more information about this piece. But that was quite funny and definitely something I'd pick up again, especially if I saw it at the bins. And then on Saturday the 18th, I had 2 sales. I sold this Madewell Bell sleeve sweater. This was also from the bins recently. Sold for $18 and after fees, I made $14.40. I didn't list this for too much. It was like a wool alpaca blend, but it's from 2016, so it was definitely an older style. Still very like trendy and cute, but I didn't want to list it for too much because I do tend to sit on my Madewell stuff, especially their sweaters recently. And I sold this Lululemon wool sweater. I found this again recently at a Goodwill, probably a couple months back. It ended up selling for $42 and after fees I made $33.60. That was also an older style and I'm glad I was able to find the name of it. It took me a while. Then on Sunday, February 19th, I had 4 sales. I sold another Anthropologie moth sweater. This one was a white turtleneck and this one I actually got at a local thrift store. I really liked the way it looked. I definitely do well with moth as far as Anthropologie brands go. So I do like when I see it and they do make really high quality pieces. This one ended up selling for $30 and after fees I made $24. Then I had a flip sale, this vintage Miss V Valentino blazer, really cute, really classic black blazer. Ended up selling for $45. After Posh fees I made $36 and after flip fees I made $13.50. Then another flip sale, this new tags BCBG Max Aria belt. Sold for $20. After Posh fees I made $16 and after flip fees I made $6. I don't really like to sell BCBG Max Aria. I definitely wouldn't go out of my way to pick it up, but since I had it from a flip lot, you know, I was happy to try and sell it. It always tends to sell eventually, it just never sells for very much. Then the last thing I sold on Sunday was this Cider knit polo sweater. The brand is Cider. It's one of those like cheapy fast fashion online brands, but they do make cute and trendy things. I think this was only my second time selling it, and I found this at the bins, but this one I've been sitting on for a while. I made $14 on Poshmark, and then after fees, I made $11.05. Then Monday the 20th, so this last Monday, I sold 2 items again. I sold this Pearl Izumi men's windbreaker. I got this at the bins recently. I was hoping to get a little bit more for it, but it did have some marks on the front that I didn't notice when I picked it up from the bins, and so I was willing to let it go for less. Originally, it was like $90. I think I listed it for like $40 or $45. And then when someone offered me $25, I just decided to accept because it was so lightweight. And if I went by like actual poundage of what things cost at the bins, it probably would have cost me absolutely nothing. But it ended up selling for $25 and after fees I made $20. And I sold one other piece by this brand this week, but I really haven't found or resold this brand that much, so I definitely wanted to try it out because I've heard a lot about it. It is like a biking brand. And then the other thing I sold was this Lauren Ralph Lauren black robe in a 2XL. I got this in a THREDUP fun box. Feels like forever ago, probably earlier last year. Again, it's gotten a lot of attention, but it just now sold. It sold for $20 and after fees I made $16. Then Tuesday the 21st, I had 3 sales. I sold this Athleta long line sports bra. I found 3 of these at a local thrift store sometime last year after I moved here. They were in the kids section, but I was pretty sure that they were like just a really small size in women's. They didn't have the size tag on them. So I just listed them as long line sports bras and took measurements. So they ended up being like an extra small. But this one sold. This one I think was the tie-dye one. Really cute patterns, really pretty colors. This one sold for $27, and after fees I made $19.88. And originally I think they cost me $3 each. Then I sold this cut from the cloth Katie boyfriend jean. Again, I found these recently at the bins. These were actually a pretty quick sale. I find the boyfriend jeans still do pretty well for me, especially in like bigger sizes. I think they're kind of just trendy as kind of like a loose fitting jean still. This ended up selling for $27, and after fees I made $19.88. And then the last thing I sold on Tuesday was this Franco Sarto Western black purse. This was really cute. This sold on Depop. I actually got this back when I was in Connecticut last December visiting my family for the holidays. Me and my mom went to a bunch of thrift stores, and I think this purse cost $7 or $8. But it had a keychain on it, which was actually a Rebecca Minkoff like tassel keychain that I've already sold and made like $8 on. So this was kind of all profit for the rest of it. I was hoping to get a little bit more, but I'm not surprised it sold on Depop. It's one of those like trendy shoulder black leather bags. Sold for $30, and then after fees I made $25.22. Then Wednesday the 22nd, I had 5 sales. I sold this Aritzia Tallulah miniskirt. I got this at the bins maybe a year or two ago. Definitely not like the trendiest, cutest item, but people do like mini skirts. This is one of those like fitted, stretchy mini skirts. So again, not the trendiest. I do like Tallulah as an Aritzia brand. It does get attention in my closet, but it's not the best Aritzia brand that I love to resell. But it did end up selling for $16, and after fees I made $11.08. Then I sold this Life is Good barbecue short sleeve shirt, again recently from the bins. I haven't really ever found Life is Good t-shirts to sell, so I was a little bit excited when I found this shirt just because I wanted to try it out. Comps weren't the best, but you know, for something you get for $1, I'm not mad about that. Sold for $16, and after fees I made $12.80. Then I had another flip sale, these Robert Graham men's jeans. I didn't know Robert Graham made jeans. Usually they're known for their like button-up shirts and like their contrasting prints. But this flip lot actually had a few Robert Graham pieces, including button-ups, and they haven't been done as well as I thought this brand would do, and that I heard other people say about this brand. It could be that the shirts that I have are a little bit outdated, which totally understand, but yeah, you might want to comp this brand before picking it up. They ended up selling for $29. After Posh fees I made $23.20, and then after flip consignment fees I made $8.70. Then I finally sold these Rothy's point toe flats. These took a while to sell, I think because they were a pretty small size. I want to say that they were a size 5.5 or a 5. Tiny, but I was so excited to find these because I found these at a local Goodwill, and they were the first time I found them at a thrift store, and I felt like they were authentic. I have seen a bunch just like at Savers mostly, and every time I see it, there's just something about it that makes me feel like they're not authentic, and I don't even want to take that risk, even if I can exchange it for like store credit or whatever. I just don't even want to bother with dealing with something that I even have like the slightest inclination it's a fake. So I was excited to find these. I've been sitting on them for a while now, at least 3 months, maybe more, but they finally sold for $40, and then after fees I made $32. And then the last thing I sold that day were these Madewell elastic waist trousers. I've been doing really well with these like comfy pull-on trousers lately. I actually got these at the bins, I want to say back in Portland, so maybe a year ago. They were missing the drawstring, which was unfortunate because they were actually very cute, but they were also a small size. I want to say these might have been a size extra small, but someone still did purchase them, which was great. They sold for $24, and after fees I made $19.20. Then Thursday the 23rd, I had 4 sales. I sold this Barefoot Dreams long sleeve top. I found this at a local thrift store. So cute. I do love Barefoot Dreams. If you've ever, you know, felt about Barefoot Dreams things, they're so soft, but I haven't had a really great time selling it. Again, I feel like I heard such great things about this brand, but I've just had a really hard time selling it with the pieces that I have picked up. This ended up selling for $30 and after fees I made $24, and I was hoping to get a little bit more for it, but I'm totally happy with at least selling it, you know, at the bare minimum for $30. Then I sold this Wrangler graphic short sleeve top. This I picked up recently at the bins. I was gonna keep it for myself, but I actually decided to resell it because I just knew I was never gonna wear it because I have so many graphic t-shirts. It ended up selling for $14 on Poshmark, and after fees I made $8.07. Then I had another flip sale, this Madewell wide leg jumpsuit. This sat for a while. I think jumpsuits, like, they kind of go in and out of style a lot, like certain types of jumpsuits. Like, I got in several floral jumpsuits in recent flip lots, and they just don't seem to get very much attention. But maybe for the spring they'll start to sell. This one ended up selling for $36 on Poshmark. After fees I made $25.82, and then after flip consignment fees I made $9.82. And then the last thing I sold this day was these Paige high-waist split hem jeans, and I know I just kind of said I don't really like to pick up Paige, and that is true, but I saw these at a local Goodwill, so I spent $10 on them, and they had like a very modern tag and just a very modern style. I decided to comp them there in the store because they were in good condition, and they actually had really good comps. A lot of them had sold anywhere between, you know, $50 and $80, which if I'm spending $10 for something, that's kind of like the return at the very minimum that I'd hope to get, somewhere between 40 and 50. So I did decide to pick them up. I think I had them listed, I don't even know, above 50, but someone offered me 50 and I decided to accept, and after fees I made 40. And then on Friday the 24th, I had 6 sales. I actually offered 30% off this day because I was very desperate. I wanted to end the month with a good sales weekend. So I did make some big discounts. And yeah, I think it paid off. I sold this Jams World Hawaiian dress. I saw this brand at, again, a local Goodwill, so I spent $10 on it. And I had heard good things about this brand. I think this piece just, in general, wasn't like the cutest, trendiest piece you could find from this brand. I don't know if it's necessarily like all vintage things, but I don't know. I really wanted to try it out. And, you know, I know that's not necessarily always the best way to try something out, to just buy it and see how it goes. But that's what I did, and it paid off. It ended up selling, which is great. It sold for 40, and then after fees I made 32. Then I sold these Pearl Izumi bike shoes. I'm glad these sold because this was another thing that I kind of just bought assuming would do well at a Savers. And I will say at the Savers that I go to, I don't have any phone service, so sometimes I just kind of have to go with a gut feeling. But yeah, comps were not great, as good as I thought they'd be for these shoes. I don't quite remember what I picked them up for. Probably around 15. They did end up selling for 31, and after fees I made $21.82, so at least I did not lose any money, which is great. Then I had another flip sale, this All Saints black wrap dress. I've had this for a while. It's been getting a lot of attention, but finally someone bought it, which is great. It sold for 31. After Posh fees I made $21.82, and then after flip consignment fees I made $6.32. Then I sold this sweat set by the brand Be The Label. And I've sold a few things by this brand before. I don't think it's particularly a sought-after brand, but I do think they make some really cute and trendy pieces. More high quality than I'd say necessarily other fast fashion brands. But this actually was from my sister-in-law's donations as well, so I didn't spend anything on it. Ended up selling for $28, and after fees I made $19.42. Then I sold these Kate Spade mules, which I've had for a very long time, and it's sad. I really thought that they would do well. I've had these for at least a year, maybe 2, and I picked them up for $10. The problem with these shoes was that the inside lining was kind of messed up, but it was like the inside part. I didn't think people would care too much about it. Like, you couldn't really see it, and it was something that I feel like could have been fixed semi-easily. I just didn't want to do it because, you know, it wouldn't be like professionally fixed or anything. But I've been sitting on them for forever, and they finally sold, and they only sold for 20, and after fees I made 16, but again, at least I didn't lose any money. And then the last thing I sold on Friday was this Zara white sleeveless top. I've had this also for a while. I can't remember if I got this in some mystery box or if I picked it up at the bins, but it was really cute, but a really simple, you know, Zara white blouse. Sold for 14, and after fees I made $8.07. And then yesterday, Saturday the 25th, was my best sales day. I had 8 sales. I do think some of that 30% off kind of carried over into Saturday, and people were just more willing to like make deals with me because they knew I would, you know, negotiate, even though I'm always sending out discounts. I first sold these Joe's the skinny jean, which again was from a flip lot. These sold for 18. After fees on Poshmark, I made $11.42, and then after flip consignment fees, I made $2.42. I do like to sell Joe's jeans. I don't necessarily pick them up unless I see them at the bins, or again, if they're like a really cute style. They usually sell pretty well, but I never get too much for them, usually between $20 and $30, sometimes a little bit more. But they are expensive to begin with, and they do make some cute jeans. And I do feel like they have like a cult following. Then I sold these Athleta wide leg pants, and I was really hoping to get more for these. And after they sold on the 30% off discount, I actually noticed that somebody had made me a higher offer that I missed. And then they sold for 30% off, which was a little disappointing, but you know, can't be too mad about that. I really was hoping these would sell quicker and for more, but I have been sitting on them for a little while now. I just thought that, you know, they're very modern and a newer style from Athleta, and a cool style, the wide leg pant. But they did end up selling. They sold for 34, and then after fees I made $24.22, and I do think I spent $10 on those. So the profit wasn't great. Then I sold these Abercrombie and Fitch distressed mom shorts. These were the newer label. These were also for my sister-in-law. She actually gave me, I think, 3 pairs of these shorts. They're all slightly different, but they're pretty much the same. These ended up selling for 24, and then after fees I made $16.22, and I do imagine the other ones will sell soon as people start planning vacations and all that, and it starts warming up here. Then I had another flip sale, these frame distressed skinny jeans. Frame, I've never had good luck with. I do think, you know, if it was a cooler, more modern, trendy style, it can do well, but for the most part, I don't do very well with their pieces. This sold for 17. After fees, I made $10.62, and then after flip consignment fees, I made $2.12. Then I sold these O'Neill gray overall shorts. I've been selling a lot of this brand lately, it feels like, but this also came from my sister-in-law. They ended up selling for 14, and then after fees, I made $8.07, which I think is totally fair. Brands like O'Neill, Billabong, Volcom, I feel like I've said this for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. They're beachy brands, and they do well for me, but they don't really get me very much. Then I sold this Universal Standard black dress. This one was a little bit sad. I was hoping to get more for this. I found it at a local Goodwill, and so I spent $10 on it, and Universal Standard is pretty expensive. I do feel like it has a good following. I just feel like this dress might not have been like the trendiest. I actually have a very similar to this dress still in my closet, but in red from this brand. And it was a size extra small, but their sizing is different. You kind of have to go on to their website and see what an extra small actually like converts into. I don't remember what it converted into, but I think they all kind of run a little bit big. I was hoping to get more for this, but I have been sitting on it for a while, and I don't feel like it's been getting very much attention. So when someone offered me 25, I decided to accept and just make a little bit of a profit than waiting, you know, for even longer for it to like maybe never sell. So it ended up selling for 25, and after fees I made 20. Then I sold another one of these Athleta long line sports bras. This one I think was in light blue. I still have one more in this pretty emerald green color, so hopefully that one sells soon as well. But this one sold for 15, and after fees I made 12, and again I spent $3 on those. And the last thing I sold yesterday was this Skims blush pink cozy knit hoodie. I got this recently at the bins. I found 4 Skims pieces from their cozy knit collection, and this was the last one to sell, so that was great. They sold, all of them sold within a few weeks, which I was really happy about, because I know that people like Skims. I just didn't know how well they were gonna resell, but they did resell great, which is awesome. And yeah, again, I was hoping to get a little bit more for this piece. I don't know if this is like a limited edition color, but it was sold out online. And yeah, I was hoping to get a little bit more, but for a quick sale, I can't really complain. So when someone offered me $32, I decided to accept, and after fees, I made $25.60. And yeah, that was all my sales for these last 2 weeks. Definitely happy about my last 2 days of sales. I feel like I might offer 30% off more regularly, at least maybe like once a month at the end of the month to kind of flush out some old inventory. I definitely feel like that helped a lot. And even for some of my lower priced items, like even if when I'm making less on them, I'm just kind of glad that they're selling and moving and going to new homes and clearing out a lot of my inventory for that. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great February. I hope your sales are starting to pick up. I'm really hoping that March goes well. Usually March is a good resell month for me. I didn't get the chance to go to the bins last week. Hopefully this week I can. I was kind of going over my numbers in my inventory sheet for this last month, and I really didn't buy much new inventory. So that's probably another reason why my sales weren't the best. But I am still happy, and I hope you guys are having a great time sourcing and selling, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye!